very excited for this pasta. I think it's gonna be great.
Yay!
I'm really curious about how it's gonna turn out.
I am too.
You're like, it'll be an adventure.
It's gonna be a big surprise.
Welcome back to Cook With Us, the show where we invite some of our favorite people to come hang out in the kitchen and cook with us. I'm your host, Jessie Van Amberg, and today I'm joined by the lovely Clancy Miller. Clancy, tell us a little bit about yourself.
I am a cookbook author and food writer. I wrote Cooking Solo, The Fun of Cooking for Yourself. I went to Le Cordon Bleu in Paris. After working in bakeries and restaurants, I decided to switch a little and go into recipe development.
Oh, that's so cool. Why'd you switch?
I'm really slow in the kitchen.
Well, I'm sorry that you're not super into speed because we do have a little bit of a challenge for you that has a bit of a time constraint. So today, I would love for you to make a high fiber, high protein, high healthy fat, gluten-free pasta. I also want to be able to enjoy it tomorrow at work, take it as leftovers. So it's got to work both ways, and it has to be ready in 30 minutes or less. How are you feeling about this?
I'm feeling good. I think I've got this.
Basically, I'm gonna leave and start the timer, and then you're just gonna get going. But before I do, tell me what you're cooking.
Okay, so I'm gonna use a red lentil quinoa pasta. And I love playing with vegetables. So and I like kale with pasta. So it's gonna be a kale pasta salad served hot.
Okay, that sounds like a lot to do in 30 minutes, so I'm gonna leave and let you get started. Good luck.
Thank you. Okay, so I already got the water started, so it's boiling, and I'm gonna start with the pasta, the simplest part of this. So we've got a big old pot of boiling water. I'm gonna add this red lentil quinoa gluten-free pasta. We're gonna let that boil for about 8 minutes, and then I'm gonna start chopping an onion. I'm just gonna thinly slice the onion and make sure, that you don't cut off your fingers. You always want to have your fingers towards the edge of the knife like this so that you don't chop them. Gonna heat up a little bit of olive oil, and I'm gonna saute the onions until they are slightly wilted, soft, maybe just a hair caramelized. And while those are in the skillet, I'm gonna de-rib some kale. I really love this dinosaur kale because it's really pretty, it cooks well, and it's I think it's officially a superfood. It's got a ton of antioxidants. Okay, so I'm gonna dump the kale in here. I'm gonna cook this until the kale is slightly wilted. The onions are pretty soft. They're somewhat caramelized. And I'm also gonna add some turmeric, a nice kind of antioxidant, anti-inflammatory spice. It also adds really nice color. It's really pretty. I'm gonna drain the pasta. This is pretty much how you want it. You want the kale to still be nice and bright green. Okay, so I'm gonna turn that all the way down. Okay. Yay. And then I'm gonna chop up my tomatoes. So I sometimes think it's nice to have a few different textures and even temperatures in kind of any dish. This is training that I got in cooking school for pastry. You always wanna have different colors, different textures, something hot, something cold, something warm. So you can do this however you want. With the tomatoes, if you want them hot, you can throw them in there just to warm them up. You can use as many or as few as you like. I call for about a cup. I'm feeling good on time. Holy smoke. Yay, hurrah, me, the slow cook. I'm just gonna put them in here to warm them up. Now what I'm gonna do is make the tahini vinaigrette. It's basically gonna be tahini, lemon juice, garlic, a little pinch of salt, and some olive oil, and that will be, you'll see it come together. I'm a chef, so I'm doing this in my hand, and frankly, it's the only way I know how to do it, but I wouldn't recommend doing this at home, especially if you're not great with knives. If you have a garlic press, this would be a great time to use it. This is the little bowl that I'm gonna add all the tahini vinaigrette ingredients to. I'm gonna juice a lemon. I'm obsessed with lemons. I think they're one of the best ways to heighten almost any dish because the acidity just brightens things. I'm gonna add the tahini first to this garlic situation. I'm gonna add the lemon juice. Here we go. I have this cute little whisk. So I'm just whisking it. Okay, so I'm gonna add a pinch of salt. This is just to bring the flavors together. Salt is the ambassador of flavor. You don't wanna use too much, but it's helpful. Just gonna use a little, this is way less than a tablespoon, tiny bit of olive oil. And now I'm gonna toast some walnuts. So this is gonna add like a little bit of crunch. I'm not even gonna chop them, I'm just kind of crush them. You could also crush it with like, I don't know, a measuring cup. There, perfect. And now I'm gonna add the walnuts that I just kind of crushed up and just lightly toast them for about a minute or two. This is just gonna make them that much more crunchy, and that's gonna be a nice element for this hot pasta salad. If you don't like walnuts, you could use pine nuts. That would be a nice addition, I think. And of course, you can make it without. But the nuts do add a nice crunch, plus they have like the good fats, so that's something we like. It's important to move them around in the skillet so they don't stick and so they don't burn and so that they can toast evenly. Okay, I'm going to just add this to the little measuring cup. So I am gonna take this pasta just to like give it a little jolt of heat. I'm gonna add it to the skillet just because I don't want it to be room temperature, I want it to be hot. Might just add just a teeny finishing little bit of olive oil. It's like a teaspoon. Okay. Here we have the tahini dressing, tahini vinaigrette. And I'm just gonna slowly drizzle. You don't even have to use all of it because we are gonna use some for Jesse's lunch tomorrow. Then I'm gonna add some of these pomegranate seeds. They're a little tart, a little sweet, so I just think that's a nice, unusual combination to add to like a hot pasta dish. And I'm also just gonna sprinkle some of these walnuts, and voila, 1 minute to go. Holy smoke. Me finishing early is like, this is unheard of.
All right, I'm back, time's up. I am so excited to eat this.
So we're gonna start with our hot pasta and then I'll show you how to plate it later for your Pyrex for lunch tomorrow.
Awesome. This is beautiful. All of
yeah,
those
you
colors
see the
in there.
kale, the walnuts, the pomegranates, the pasta. Do this.
Okay, so I'm gonna get a bite that has as many things as possible on it.
Okay.
I love the kale in there, and I think the sauce especially is what really makes everything come through. It's so bright and zippy because of the lemon. That is so good. Dun, dun, dun. I am. Here we go. Here's the judging time. So, as a reminder, I'm judging you on 4 categories: flavor, creativity, nutrition, and ease. I think you score highest on ease. This was a super easy thing, literally, to throw together. You were able to just have a pot of pasta kind of going in the background, getting all your vegetables. It only really took 2 pans, and you finished before 30 minutes were up, which I love. Next, I would say, is nutrition. This is so healthy. There's tons of high protein, high fiber coming through with the pasta itself because it's made out of quinoa and lentils, and then all of those vegetables as well. well are bringing in fiber and flavor and just like all kinds of great things in here. The only way it could possibly be improved nutrition-wise is to add maybe another protein source. But I think that would be super easy for somebody to do if they had like pre-made chicken that they wanted to like cut up and toss in there. The flavor is incredible, especially with the sauce. I think really brings it together. Next is creativity. At face value, yes, this is pasta with kale, but you did a great job at putting together ingredients that I likely already have or would have on hand or would be willing to buy, things that I'm familiar with, and combining them in really interesting and different ways to make a super surprising meal. So now my next question is, this was delicious today. I want to eat it for lunch tomorrow. What do I do?
So you've got your Pyrex here, and it's really simple. We're just gonna put the pasta salad in it.
That's easy enough for me
That's
to
very
understand.
easy.
That's good.
If you want some extra pomegranate seeds, you can do that. And then you've got your tahini vinaigrette that you can just drizzle. I think it's fine just to put it all in your Pyrex and pack it, and you're ready to go.
Awesome. And
Very easy lunch.
And I probably wouldn't even need to microwave that, would I? Like, do you think it would taste just as good cold?
Absolutely. This is actually why I chose this recipe, because it's great hot, and then the next day you can have it cold for lunch, and it's just as delicious.
Well, this is awesome. Thank you so much for doing this. I am very excited for my lunch tomorrow, let me tell you.
Thanks so much for having me on Cook With Us. And if you need the recipe, it's below, as well as a list of ingredients I used.
And if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below and we'll get back to you. Thank you all. And don't forget to subscribe to Well+Good.